TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Thank you.
I guess my very first question would be, how you got started in the pro wrestling business?
I didn't have a job. The way I got started, I was living in Michigan, in Benton Harbor, Michigan, and I was putting in applications every day looking for a job, and they would never call me. So I was riding with a guy that was my sister's boyfriend, and so I got disgusted one day, and I told him, I said, I just ought to go and wrestle, and I was just saying it as a joke. And he took me to Bobo Brazil, but I wouldn't change it after I said it, but I didn't really mean it. So that's how I got started.
So you're a big fan growing up then, right?
Yeah, I was a big wrestling fan growing up, but I never did want to be a wrestler myself. But I ended up being one.
How did you actually break into the business? Like, who did you approach?
Well, Bobo Brazil. I started going around with Bobo Brazil and training with him just a little bit and setting up the ring at shows for him and the Sheik. And that's how I got started there. But then after it came a big snow in Michigan, I couldn't stand the snow. And when my car was uncovered, that's when I moved to Arkansas. And a guy down in Memphis, his name is Mario Galento. Well, the late Mario Galento, he's deceased now. Him and his wife, Spider, they trained me.
Now, basically, when you were a fan and you broke into the business as a fan, basically, correct? And who actually took you under their wing? I know you said Mario and Bobo, but at first did they say, oh, you should just be a fan? Or did they look at you and see your size and say, hey, you're definitely going to make it?
Yeah, they told me, they didn't tell me that I was going to make it, but they were telling me that you should be a good wrestler. Yeah, so you should be a good wrestler. But they still didn't tell me all about how you go, because I thought it was for real.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, I still was a little leery about doing it, but I went on anyway. And I said to myself, if they can do it, I believe I could do it.
So Mario, was he the first guy that actually took you in the ring?
No, the first guy that took me in the ring was the Great Mephisto, one of the greatest bookers that I know. The Great Mephisto, Frankie Kane. He was the first man that I wrestled. He was the first one that gave me a booking. So I would say I give all the credit to Frankie Kane.
Was he the guy that basically taught you how to take the bumps and the psychology?
Yeah, he taught me everything. I mean, I learned a lot from other guys as I went on, but the Great Mephisto, he taught me a lot.
What name did you go under?
Sugar Bear Harris. I played high school football, and that was my football. That's what they call me when I was playing football, Sugar Bear.
Where are you originally from?
I'm from Mississippi.
From Mississippi.
Yeah, a little place south of Memphis, about 30 miles, called Senatobia. That's where I'm from.
How did you wind up in UK?
A friend of mine, Tom Shelf, he took me to Germany one year. And we was over there for like a couple of months, and the English promoter was there. And he saw my work, and he liked it. And he asked me, was I interested in coming to England the next year? And I told him that I was. But I told him that I was going to Mexico first. So I went to Mexico, and after I almost starved to death, then I was reaching for him, so I went to England after that.
What year is Mexico and England around?
What year did I go there?
Yeah, over to England.
I went to England in 1980.
Okay.
1980, 81, somewhere in that area.
How long were you in Arkansas before? When did you start in Arkansas? What year was that?
1978.
78.
Yeah, 1978.
Any memories from Europe stick out in your mind?
From Europe?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them from Europe, because I stayed there a year and a half. I stayed there a while. That was kind of like home to me. I mean, I didn't like it though, but I was there. So, the guys like John Haystack, I heard he's deceased. I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I made a lot of friends there, and I think about them all the time.
So when you came back over to the States, where did you go from there?
I got my ankle broke in England. So I came back home, and after I got back home, all of my belongings was coming by ship, so that was going to take a long time. So what I did was I went to Memphis one night, with a broken ankle, but it was healing. And to see a guy called the Dream Machine, to see him about getting some wrestling gear because it was going to take mine so long to get, and I wanted, when my ankle was well, I wanted to have gear to go back to work. And I saw the Dream. I didn't get a chance to see the Dream Machine. I saw Jerry Lawler and Jerry Jarrett. They stopped me at the door like they didn't know who I was, and I told them. And because I didn't have any hair on my head then, and they didn't know me, so they said, "You looking for work?" I said, "Well, I'm looking for the Dream Machine, but yeah, I need to work too." So they said, "Well, I tell you what you do. You go home, and we'll give you a call. So just go home. We don't want nobody to see you." And
So they already had an idea.
yeah, they had. But before, when I was in England, I had started painting my face already. Yeah, I started painting my face. A lot different from the way it is now.
Right.
Yeah, so
How did that come about? Like, whose idea was it to paint your face? You just came up with the idea, and
when I was in England,
right.
yeah, I came up with it myself. I just started doing it. I had been back and forth to Africa, and I used to see a lot of stuff out there, and then I wanted to, be like that.
Right.
And that's how I started painting my face.